So, for those of you who haven't heard, there's a story going around about a BLM activist who accused a university student of trying to run over protesters after referring to them as speed bumps. The woman on the left here is Morgan Bettinger, and the woman on the right is Flapjack's mom, Bubby. I'm joking. Actually, no, fuck her. Her name is Ziana Bryant, a UVA graduate, which is the same university the victim, Morgan Bettinger, attended. So what happened? In July of 2020, George Floyd protesters occupied a busy street in Virginia, the same street Bettinger would eventually drive up to. She noticed a truck driver blocking the street in an attempt to protect the protesters from getting hit by oncoming vehicles. So, Bettinger told the truck driver something along the lines of, "Oh, it's a good thing you're here, or these protesters would have been speed bumps." You know, because it's a busy street, and because it's a busy street, the truck driver had the common sense to try and protect the protesters. The truck driver sided with Bettinger, corroborating her story. In fact, Bryant herself later admitted that she might have misheard what Bettinger said. But before all that, Ziana Bryant decided that Bettinger had uttered something else. And now I'm just going to read the following from the New York Post, which you can find below. Bettinger, she claimed, was threatening demonstrators and got in her car and cried after she was confronted. The incident drew attention after Bryant, a student and social justice activist, took to Twitter. Her version of what happened was retweeted more than 1,000 times. "The woman in this truck approached protesters in Charlottesville and told us that we would make good speed bumps," Bryant wrote. She then called the police and started crying, saying we were attacking her. Bryant also posted videos, not of the alleged speed bump comment itself, but of its aftermath. In the footage, Bettinger backs down the street in her car while Bryant and several other protesters follow. So these protesters followed her. Can you imagine that? You're in your car, surrounded by an angry mob, only for that mob to slowly disperse and reveal Big Bubby as she starts dashing towards you. I'm sorry. "It's a Karen, it's a Karen," Bryant taunted, according to Reason. So whenever a white woman disagrees with someone, she's a Karen. That's pathetic, lazy, and it's getting old. The story was picked up by local media and spread like wildfire. Bettinger was identified online the next morning and was barraged with insults and accusations from UVA students. One student tweeted that Bettinger was a F-King Nazi. I'm beginning to think the word Nazi has been used the last decade more times than during the entirety of WW2, when Nazis actually existed. The next day, Bryant began demanding that school administrators expel Bettinger. Email these UVA deans now to demand that Morgan face consequences for her actions and that UVA stop graduating racists, she tweeted. Bryant herself filed a complaint with the University Judiciary Committee, a student-run disciplinary system, alleging Bettinger had threatened students' health and safety. Bettinger was the subject of multiple investigations in the months that followed, Reason reported. I was completely consumed. My phone did not stop blowing up, Bettinger told the magazine. I didn't sleep for nights. A student disciplinary hearing concluded that Bettinger was guilty of making a legal threat against the protesters. But a second probe found Bryant probably didn't even hear firsthand what Bettinger uttered and considered her evidence shaky, according to Reason. Bettinger eventually graduated from UVA, but with a permanent mark on her record, Reason reported. No witnesses corroborated Bryant's claim that Bettinger derided protesters as good-for-king speed bumps, even though it happened in front of more than 30 people, according to the outlet, which also reviewed documents previously not made public in the case. She got national attention after writing a 2016 petition demanding that Charlottesville take down its statue of Robert E. Lee. By summer 2020, she was on Teen Vogue's 21 Under 21 list, had spoken alongside Bernie Sanders, and had been profiled in such outlets as The New Yorker and The New York Times. Since the UVA incident, Bryant's profile has only grown. She was the subject of a positive Washington Post profile in 2021 and was named to Ebony Magazine's Power 100 list. That's the end of the article. Meanwhile, Bettinger, the victim of all this, and whose father was a policeman who recently passed away from cancer, Had her dreams of going to law school ruined, her reputation ruined, and basically her entire life ruined. She has to take medication just to sleep at night. I really do feel for her, and I hope that actual justice, not social justice or whatever the hell this is supposed to be, is served sooner than later. I heard she's suing the university. Good, she should also sue Bryant. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. And please do what you can to spread this story because it deserves to be heard.